Hi and welcome to my first video. This is my Pleasantview. This is 50 years in the future. I have played this for 50 in-game years. Um, so I really wanted to show where my neighborhood was going. My first plan was to divide it up in like two videos, long videos, where I tell you about the different families. But I could see that how long it takes for me to explain each family, it would be like 3 hours long videos, maybe even more. So my plan is now to divide the families into videos. So today we are going to talk about the Goth family, still living in the Goth manor. Um, the next video we're gonna talk about the land grabs, but we will maybe also hit a video where we're talking about two different families in one because they are not so big and so on. Um, I got inspired by Pleasantview back in the day to play not Pleasantview, Pleasant Sims to play rotationally, and that for sure made me love the game so much again. And I kind of wished that I knew about playing rotationally when I was a kid because I think it would have been so much fun. Um, my rules has developed a lot through the half year I have played this hood. Um, I still play by 1 day is 1 year, and for this hood I play one season at a time. That means 4 days for me. I have a custom lifespan, so some of the ages is gonna be a little bit weird compared to the original story because I didn't use the age correct in the beginning. Um, and as you can see, there is a lot of families. This is because I also added Water Village and downtown quite early, and I also took actually all the pre-mates in Sim State University and plopped them in my game after their university round. So I had from the beginning a lot of Sims, and I did that to try to avoid all the messiness that quickly can happen in such a small neighborhood. But as you can see, everyone is still connected in some way. So there is still some messy situations, but I guess that just adds to the drama. And who doesn't like drama in Pleasantview? Um, as I said, today we are gonna talk about the Goths, and the rest of my rules you'll probably hear through the different videos about the different families. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy this video. Yeah, so here we have the famous Goth Manor. In the beginning of the game, you of course have the whole thing with Cassandra and Don maybe getting married and Mortimer is living there. In my game, Dawn and Cassandra got married. And actually, they had a really long relationship together. Um, Cassandra knew a little bit about his cheating, but tried to um, have a blind eye to it, if you can say it like that. Um, because she really loved Dawn, and or maybe she loved the 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 thought of who Dawn could be, but probably wasn't. But they ended up getting some kids. They have Ivan, who is the goth that is living in the manor now. They had Ali, that is now a land grab, and then they have soon a goth. Um, there is also this guy, Tim, and I will tell you a little bit about him a little bit later, because he is one of those messy children that is always happening in Pleasantview, I feel like. But I will, for this, focus on Ivan Goth. I will tell you a little bit about Bria Goth, who sadly died in last round, and I'm really really sad about it. Um, and then we have Quinte Goth and Celia Goth. I know we have this guy. I'm probably gonna tell you a little bit about him because he's the son of Ivan. but you will know more about who he is when I get to his family. So here we have Ivan Goth. He is the son of Cassandra and Don Lothario, Lady Goth. He is a Libra. He kind of reminds me a lot of Don, at least in the beginning, because he's really sloppy. He's a little bit more outgoing. He's really lazy. He's playful and nice. When I started this neighborhood, I followed Pleasant Sim's way of choosing the aspirations. So he was a romance sim, but when you get the opportunity to change their aspiration, I make a 50-50 roll if they gonna change. And Ivan had a yes on that, and I at that point I have switched my way of choosing their aspiration to just a random role. So sometimes they can have an aspiration that doesn't fit their personality, and I think that's quite fun. Sometimes I also choose differently depending if I feel like their personality or who they are would fit better for something else. But yeah, he re-rolled his aspiration to knowledge. So his uh, first aspiration is knowledge, and then secondary is romance. So I still keep his romance side. Um, I will look if I have. Yeah, I have something about him here. And I gonna apologize already now that some of these is really bad English because I've written him at a point where I was like, no one is gonna see them anyways, and not thinking too much about it. But Ivan got born into a happy family. Who are we kidding? There's no doubt uh, that Don is a nice dad, but he's a horrible man. but his mom also just take it, like Cassandra just take it. She keeps staying even though Don cheats on her all the time. Ivan have learned from this: just don't marry, right? And I feel like I wrote this when he was still a teen and a romance sim, but the whole just don't get married thing really hit home in his adult years. As you can see, he's 10 days of getting of being an elder, and he actually never really found a wife. I can try to see if I can find it. Of course, he has his romances. He has been with a couple of ladies, but not a lot. Thinking of he's actually a romance sim, you can. So, I think that's ACR. I have. I in the beginning had the teen adult interaction enabled because I wanted the teens to, like with the college, if they had a partner that just went to college, that for me makes sense that they could still have something, but I have removed that because of this. I feel it's so awkward. Uh, but yeah, he fell in love with a couple of people and have been a little bit with people, but nothing like big. He never really got married. He didn't really find anyone that he could get married to, and if he found someone, it was, you know, other romance sims when he was a knowledge sim, and that just didn't work for him. Until he met Bria, and Bria is okay. I'm gonna show you. Um, This is Bria. As you can see, she's the child of Brandy, broke, now Dreamer, and Darren Dreamer, and her twin brother is Brent Dreamer. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about him, and probably us Bria via him because they had a lot together. They were really good friends. I think when they got married, he was like in the middle or something like that, and she was, I think, maybe 5 or 4 years younger. maybe 6 years younger than him. Um, so they only got together when they were adults, so I felt like it was okay. Um, but they really fell in love. He really, really liked her, and they got engaged. And then she got pregnant before they got married. But Ivan was just like, "Well, we are gonna get married anyway, so this is okay." Um, and then they got married. And it was a really good party, as you can see. But the same day as they got married and Bria moved in with Quint, Cassandra died. Um, so Quint never got to learn about his grandmother, sadly. But yeah, she died of old age, which was, yeah, whatever. It's what happens, I guess. Oh yeah, and at this point, Cassandra and Dawn had actually separated because she got tired of him cheating in the end. So yeah, but so she died of natural causes, and that's what happens, right? The next round, Bria got pregnant again, and they got a kid, Celia, and then Bria died. I was so sad when this happened because it had been such a long time since I had a death by childbirth, um, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna quit without saving, and because Bria was one of my favorite Sims, I really really liked her. Um, but that's how it is in my game. You die, you die. Well, I make them allowed to plead for their loved one's life, but I don't think Ivan was home at the time. So it was really, I couldn't plead for her life. So it was really, really sad. Um, but yeah, he finally, that's what I mean with just don't get married. Um, in his bio, he has finally found his love of his life. Then his mom dies, and then she even dies. It's so sad, I feel like, but I guess that's his place in life at the moment. At least he has two lovely children. Um, two actually, three, because his first child is Theo Goth. And Theo Goth is not a goth because of Ivan. Theo Goth is actually a burb. His mom is Luna, now Goth burb. Um, and I think you saw her in his memories as one of the first one he. When they were kids, they were quite good friends, but in college they really fell in love with each other and had a lot with each other to do with each other. Um, and they had a woohoo, of course. And she got pregnant from that, and that's where they got Theo. I have a rule in my game where I roll if Romance Sim is gonna keep the baby, and Luna is a Romance Sim. You will see a lot of a lot more about her. But she actually rolled to keep the kid. So Ivan never really got to know him. But yeah, that's the story. So I will tell you a little bit of his kids. So this is Quint. He is or Capricorn. He is very very neat. I think he got that from his mom. He is a little bit outgoing and he's a little bit lazy, playful and nice. I don't know a lot about him because well he's just a child still and he hasn't lived for that long. Um, I haven't written a bio for him yet, but I'm gonna because his after his mom's death, I feel like he would have like a big thing about that. I only write bios when I feel like something big has happened and it would be enough to change their look at life. He when he got born in the apartment his mother lived in. So I think he was a toddler when they got married, and yeah, he was, and he moved in. He sadly never got to know Cassandra. Um, and shortly, I don't know why he learned all his toddler skills, but he still grew up really bad. I guess because of the death of his grandmother. And shortly after Darren died, I don't even think he really got to know Darren either. Yeah, he hasn't really met a lot of his family. Um, of course some, but it's not like the close family at least. Um, when he got his little sister, Celia, he was super happy just until the Grim Reaper came. And so I feel like he would also have like a hard time with his little sister. I don't know what their relationship is now. It's not too good. So I feel like his life is heading in a little bit of a rough patch, but hopefully he will find happiness again. Yeah. And as you can see, Celia is sleeping. She is so cute, and I'm looking forward to see her grow up. I'm also gonna write a bio for her because I feel like with such a sad start of life, she that would be something that is hitting her, and even more if her brother is gonna be a little bit meh about it. But I think also that Ivan would do his best to tell Celia that it's not her fault and everything is good when she gets older and understands more about what happened. But she's a Libra like her dad. She's really sloppy, really outgoing. She's lazy, serious, and nice. Of course, I don't know a lot about her yet, so I'm excited to see how she develops and where she's going in life. So yeah, that was the Goth family, at least the first part of it. As you can see, I have redecorated the house a lot. I did that when Bria was still alive to get and so I got a little bit of her vibe into the decoration. I'm just gonna say now that I am horrible at building, first of all, so I'm rarely doing that myself. I'm getting better at decorating, but it's not like I feel like the more clutter CC I get, the better it gets. But I feel like there's still a lot of empty space, and which can be fine too. But I have seen other people being so creative and good with their decoration, and I really aspire to try to be just half as good as them. So I'm getting better, but some houses I have done nothing with and just plopped the necessary things down, and you will see. But some other houses is like this. It depends how I'm feeling the day I'm playing the the Sims. Yeah, but this is how the manor is looking now, and the backyard is full with kid things because Cassandra had a lot of kids. And by the way, as you can see, there is no graveyard anymore. After Cassandra died, I had this feeling that Ivan wouldn't keep the cemetery here anymore. So he bought a big, how can you say, a big piece of land and made the Goth cemetery for all the Goth families, um, family members. Um, I feel like that would fit better, also because there wasn't more space in the graveyard and in the garden. So I feel that just made sense that when he took over the family and he is the head of the family now, um, yeah, that would make sense. That was all I had to say about the Goth family still living in the Goth Manor. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!